I think Europe's in a really very difficult place right now, and the only way Europe is going to be able to find ways forward is by getting to some type of united European position around this problem.
But they can't do that.
And at the moment, the political, well, you've seen them, I mean, the political fences are there in every sense. I don't think that Europe is going to be able to cope with this on a country-by-country basis. Europe is going to have, in my view, to adopt a common position around this.
And what would you want that position to be?
Well, I think that there's two elements to this, aren't there? There are humanitarian responsibilities. I'm hearing politicians in Europe say you've got to rewrite the Geneva Conventions because we can't cope with this any longer. I actually think Europe has got to accept its humanitarian responsibilities along with other countries, but it's also got to look at the labour market part of this, because whether you like it or not, when people come as refugees, as migrants, it comes down to work. In the end, these people need to work to make a living. So you've got to work at that level.
Right, now, you've put your finger beautifully on it, because if we look at the responses, Europe needs a workforce. These migrants, refugees, potentially could be that. And Germany, in many ways, has been the one that spotted it.
Well, I was speaking with the German Labour Minister in the G20 a couple of weeks back, ready to take 1 million people. We need them. It's going to cause us trouble in the short term. Our unemployment figures will go up. Our public finances will take a hit. In 10, 15 years' time, Germany will be a winner from this. But the trouble is politicians don't generally operate on the 10 to 15-year policy horizon.
You have another problem, though, because what you need to protect is that this workforce, this migrant workforce, doesn't push down wages and change the equation on working conditions and standards, which, of course, is exactly the race to the bottom that you and I have talked about before.
But, Richard, it doesn't have to be like that.
But it inevitably will be.
It won't inevitably be. If this is done properly, if people are registered, if they're legally in the country, as you know, Germany's just introduced a minimum wage. That should be applicable to migrants. It should be to local workers.
Isn't the risk, though, that these workers, these migrants, these refugees, end up in the informal economy, as we politely call it nowadays, slave labour, whatever you want to call it, trafficked labour, whatever you want to call it?
That's absolutely the danger, absolutely the danger. And so far as countries continue to say, we put up walls, we reject these people, they will get in, but they'll get in exactly as you're saying, without documents, without status, and vulnerable to the type of exploitation which, as you said, sometimes takes on absolutely horrific proportions. I think we all have an interest in stopping that from happening.